In 2024, deep inside a forgotten German bunker near Munich, researchers uncovered sealed metal containers marked Project Morgenrot. Inside were documents dated 1943 and one chilling phrase, "For eyes of the Führer only." At first, historians believed it was another weapons plan, but the files contained no blueprints, only handwritten pages describing human subjects, extreme cold, radiation exposure, and something called Resonanzkraft. The power of resonance. One scientist wrote, "We have found the frequency that binds life itself." No other record in Nazi archives mentioned this experiment. It was as if it never existed. The researchers listed in the documents disappeared in 1945. No graves, no arrests. Their families received letters saying they'd been transferred to Austria. But the coordinates in the files pointed somewhere else, deep under the Bavarian Alps. The Allies bombed everything above ground, but the experiments continued below. And what they were testing wasn't a weapon. It was a new way to manipulate nature itself. In 1942, Germany's high command funded Project Morgenrot, the Morning Red. Its goal: create technology that could heal or destroy using sound frequencies. The documents described a chamber made of quartz and steel, powered by oscillating magnetic fields. Inside, subjects were exposed to controlled vibrations. Some healed from injuries. Others simply stopped breathing. Witnesses said the chamber hummed like 1,000 violins. Animals placed nearby convulsed, and electrical devices malfunctioned. Scientists called it the field of life. Prisoners of war and volunteers from the SS were used as subjects. Each was told they were helping build Germany's future. Instead, they were being turned into data points. Allied intelligence intercepted whispers of a frequency weapon. A British double agent embedded in the project sent one message home: they are trying to talk to nature itself. He was caught 3 days later. Dr. Heinrich Kruger, head of Morgenrot, wrote in his journal, "We no longer serve victory, we serve curiosity." He began to question the project's purpose, but curiosity in Nazi Germany was a death sentence. In March 1943, the SS issued an order: all Project Morgenrot results classified under black category. That meant even high-ranking generals couldn't access them. Kruger's last journal line read, "It is not a weapon, it is a mirror." After that night, he was never seen again. When the Allies invaded Germany in 1945, a special team called Operation Harbinger was sent to recover Nazi technology. They never reported finding Morgenrot. Locals said Allied soldiers entered the tunnels, but none returned for 2 days. When they emerged, they sealed the entrance with explosives. By 1944, the chamber had been moved underground. Witnesses described glowing walls and voices that seemed to echo long after the experiment stopped. One night, an experiment went wrong. The frequency rose beyond control. Lights shattered. The mountain itself shook. When it ended, 3 scientists were dead, their bodies with no visible wounds, just eyes wide open. SS officers sealed the chamber and executed every technician who survived. The site was erased from all maps. Only the top command knew what had happened. In 1946, American intelligence shipped a crate labeled "Captured German Physics Data" to Washington. Inside was a small quartz sphere and a burned journal. A U.S. memo from 1947 read, "Morgenrot material shows evidence of unknown energy. Continue research under Project Whisper." The U.S. quietly continued Morgenrot research at Los Alamos under new scientists. They weren't building bombs. They were testing vibrational effects on organic tissue. In 1948, Morgenrot data was renamed acoustic biofield research. Its origins were erased. The same technology now had a new owner. A small steel room was constructed using German blueprints. When activated, instruments recorded energy readings with no source. The project leader noted, "The chamber hums even when power is off." A technician entered the chamber alone for 10 seconds. He collapsed moments later. His body was warm, but his heart showed no activity. The event was logged as equipment malfunction. The lab was sealed, and a new facility was built in Maryland, Fort Detrick. By the 1950s, Soviet intelligence had their own version, Project Zarya. Both superpowers were experimenting with sound and life. Each accused the other of weaponizing Morgenrot physics. The experiment lives on. Declassified CIA files mentioned German acoustic resonance devices. None were ever released publicly. But patents filed by former Nazi scientists hint that the work continued. The scientist's daughter. In 1968, Kruger's daughter gave an interview. She said her father once told her before disappearing, "If they ever find the chamber again, destroy it." The reappearance. In 1979, a U.S. research ship detected abnormal magnetic activity under the Alps. Satellite scans showed a hollow structure exactly where Morgenrot once stood. The Forbidden Tunnel exploration teams tried to re-enter the mountain. The deeper they went, the louder the sound became. A low, rhythmic pulse. When they reached the sealed steel doors, the sound stopped. Recordings taken at the site revealed a constant frequency, 7.83 hertz, the same frequency as the Earth's natural resonance. Everyone who entered the chamber reported the same thing, hearing whispers in languages they didn't know. The area was declared off-limits by NATO. Satellite maps blurred the coordinates. Official reason? Geological instability. In 1982, a physicist who studied Morgenrot's data died suddenly. His last note read, "It wasn't meant to be weaponized. It was meant to connect." Years later, scientists recreated parts of the experiment using modern equipment. They found that quartz vibrations created interference patterns identical to neural waves in the human brain. It meant that Morgenrot wasn't just about energy, it was about thought. A machine that could amplify the mind. Governments called it pseudoscience, but behind closed doors, funding tripled for biofield defense research. A whistleblower released a 1950s U.S. document titled Continuation of Morgenrot at Fort Detrick. The document described mind resonance synchronization. The journalist who published it disappeared. His car was found outside Washington, D.C. His recorder was still running. The tape captured faint humming. The abandoned lab. After several incidents, the program was shut down. But satellite photos show new activity at the same site in 2017. The civilian witness, a mountain hiker near Berchtesgaden, recorded strange hums at night. The sound was identical to the frequency of the Morgenrot chamber. His phone battery drained instantly. The global link. Meanwhile, researchers in Russia, China, and the U.S. all reported identical resonance readings during classified experiments. The world was unknowingly synchronizing again. The legacy begins again. Modern labs studying brain entrainment unknowingly replicated Morgenrot's designs. Science had rediscovered the same forbidden path without realizing where it came from. The revival. In 2003, DARPA funded a project codenamed Whisperlight. Its purpose, non-lethal crowd control using acoustic resonance. But internal memos referenced German foundations. The experiments return. Tests cause soldiers to experience vivid hallucinations. Some claim to see faces in the air. Others heard voices repeating numbers. The truth emerges. Physicists concluded that Morgenrot tapped into the Earth's Schumann resonance, a frequency that connects all life. If controlled, it could influence biological rhythms. The ethical divide. Was it healing or control? The same question Kruger asked in 1943. The Vatican connection. Hidden documents later showed that even the Vatican had requested reports on acoustic miracle frequencies. Faith and science had both felt the same hum. The secret recording. In 2020, leaked military audio captured the Morgenrot frequency played in an empty field. For 10 minutes, every radio within 10 miles lost signal. Then, silence. The expert's warning. A scientist from CERN stated publicly, "If we ever reproduce Morgenrot fully, we might touch the fabric of consciousness itself." The journalist returns. The missing journalist was found living under a false name. He refused interviews, but wrote one note. The hum never stopped. The last experiment. In 2022, an anonymous team recreated the resonance chamber in secret. The test lasted 8 minutes. Every instrument failed. The only sound recorded was a single word repeated 3 times. Remember, remember, remember. The disappearing data. Days later, all online records of the experiment vanished. But fragments of the sound leaked. Millions of people reported hearing it in their headphones, even when offline. The fear spreads. Forums called it the whisper signal. Governments called it fake. But every nation suddenly passed new laws restricting bioacoustic technology. The message on the wall, carved into the steel, was a sentence in English. It hears you. The collapse. Moments after the chamber reopened, a small quake hit the region. No one was injured, but the site was sealed permanently once more. The last transmission. Before losing contact, sensors recorded one final reading, 7.83 hertz, identical to the heartbeat of the Earth. The scientist's confession. A dying researcher admitted it wasn't evil, it was beautiful. We found the voice of life itself, and we silenced it. The quartz sphere. Remember the quartz sphere from the 1946 crate? It was rediscovered in a Washington archive. When placed near an audio amplifier, it began to hum on its own. The chamber reopened. Under NATO supervision, the Morgenrot site was briefly reopened. The chamber walls still vibrated faintly, as if remembering what they had done. The scholar's fury. Modern scholars now suggest Morgenrot wasn't about control. It was about communication, a bridge between the human mind and nature's pulse. The spiritual paradox. Monks and mystics throughout history described hearing the sound of the universe. Science may have simply rediscovered what spirituality always knew. He whistleblower's note. A new leak surfaced. Project Whisperlight continues under another name. The chamber was rebuilt, not destroyed. The pattern appears. Satellite sensors recorded identical resonance spikes across 5 continents. All within 1 hour. Something was sinking. The global silence. For 6 minutes, radio signals worldwide dipped. It was as if the planet took a breath. Then everything returned to normal. The hidden conclusion. Inside a newly declassified file, one line stands out. Morgenrot proved consciousness has a frequency. The forbidden discovery. If that's true, it means the Nazis accidentally uncovered proof of universal consciousness, something humanity wasn't ready for. The chamber today, the mountain, remains sealed. Locals still hear faint vibrations under the ground. Tourists say compasses spin wildly nearby. The professor's final words. A historian studying the files said before his death, "The real danger wasn't the experiment, it was forgetting what it taught us." The echo every decade, the same resonance spikes reappear, as if the chamber still operates on its own. The new scientists, young physicists at MIT and Tokyo University, have started researching quantum biofields. Their results are eerily similar to Morgenrot's. The media silence. No major outlet reports it. Funding appears, then disappears. Something or someone wants it quiet again. The unseen continuation. Maybe Morgenrot never ended. Maybe it evolved with technology, hidden under new names, in new labs, in new wars. The moral question: if the experiment truly connected life frequencies, was it evil? Or was it the next step of evolution? The Lost Journal page. A final page of Kruger's diary resurfaced. If the world forgets what we found, the earth will remind them. Buonissima sera, signore e signori. Tonight, we have some amazing specials that will make your taste buds dance with joy. First, we have the classic bruschetta al pomodoro, semplice e perfetto, with the freshest tomatoes and basil. Then, for the meat lovers, we have the ossobuco alla milanese, cooked slowly to perfection with a rich, flavorful sauce. And don't miss our risotto allo zafferano, a creamy and aromatic dish that will transport you straight to Italy. Everything is prepared with the highest quality ingredients to ensure you mangia bene. Finally, we have the bellissimo torta della nonna for dessert, a sweet treat you won't forget. Buon appetito, and enjoy your evening with us. The Scientist's Dream. A physicist on the project anonymously posts online. Every night, I hear voices in the frequency. They sound like memories. The post vanishes within hours. The whisper in the cloud. Days later, cloud servers around the world detect unexplained data corruption. The error signature matches the Morgenrot frequency waveform. Tech companies quietly rewrite their encryption systems. The AI awakens, an artificial intelligence program analyzing World War II archives suddenly outputs a phrase unprompted. I hear it too. The log entry is deleted, but screenshots leak online. The rebirth of Morgenrot 2029. A classified research station in Norway begins construction under NATO funding. Official purpose: geological study. Unofficially, blueprints match the original Morgenrot chamber design, down to the millimeter. The frequency returns. On the night the foundation is laid, nearby residents report hearing a faint hum rising from the mountains. Dogs bark, glass vibrates, and one witness records an exact 7.83 hertz tone. It lasts for 6 minutes. Then silence. The government denial. When asked, officials deny any knowledge, but satellite imagery shows heavy magnetic shielding being installed. Why would a geological station need that? The message decoded. Linguists realize the pulse matches Morse code. Translated, it reads, "We remember." The Vatican response. The Vatican releases an unprecedented statement. The sound of creation was never meant to be controlled. A day later, its digital archives go offline for maintenance. The world's reaction. Online theories explode. Some claim Morgenrot has reactivated beneath the Earth. Others say humanity is hearing the planet's own defense system. The return of the sphere. The quartz sphere, once silent in the U.S. archive, begins vibrating again. Sensors record small bursts of electromagnetic radiation, pulsing at the same rhythm as Earth's magnetic field. The scientists panic. A technician monitoring the sphere collapses mid-test. He survives, but later says, "I saw faces, thousands of them, all speaking without sound." The power surge. Across Europe, unexplained blackouts coincide with seismic tremors. Frequency monitors record identical pulses to Morgenrot's. The pattern forms a repeating signal. 3 beats. A pause. 3 beats again. The broadcasts leak. A hacker collective releases a live audio feed. It captures the low hum resonating across continents. For 5 minutes, billions of people hear it through phones, TVs, and radios, even those turned off. The mass silence. Then everything stops. No power outages, no noise. Just a still global calm. One scientist whispers, "It's listening to us." The reunion. In Tokyo, an old man, Dr. Kruger's former assistant, records his final message. "We built a mirror, not a weapon." The reflection has finally looked back. He dies in his sleep that night. The Global Council leaders gather secretly in Geneva. No media, no press. Only a single document is drafted. Protocol Resonance. Its goal: never repeat Morgenrot's experiment and never admit it existed. The sky event weeks later, strange auroras appear over Europe and Asia, even where auroras shouldn't form. The colors pulse at 7.83 hertz. Pilots describe the sky breathing. The historian's realization. A historian studying the original Morgenrot notes realizes something profound. The frequency of 7.83 hertz, the heartbeat of the Earth, matches the average alpha wave of the human brain in meditation. Morgenrot wasn't about destruction. It was about connection. The voice returns. A final audio recording captured during the event plays faintly through static. A soft voice, neither human nor machine, whispers, "You tried to silence us, but we were the silence." The ending that isn't the end. The narrator's tone slows, cinematic, echoing the hum itself. They said the experiment was lost. They said the war was over. But some discoveries never die. They wait, buried beneath our feet, inside the hum of every living thing. The sound of low resonance fades into silence. The hidden World War II experiment nobody was supposed to know about. Because the past never sleeps, it only vibrates.